Hey there folks, Mr. G here with another educational video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about photosynthesis and cellular respiration, which is something we mentioned a little bit last time when we were talking about the parts of the cell, in particular chloroplasts, which do photosynthesis, and cellular respiration, which is done by our mitochondria. Now before we dive into our notes, make sure you put your name at the top, the block, the date, and this is going to be page 4 of our notes. Now photosynthesis, this is something that only occurs in plant cells. And this is how plant cells produce the plant's food, which is sugar. Like we mentioned, the organelles where photosynthesis takes place are called the chloroplasts. So this process, we take some of the sunlight and turn carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and sugar. Now below we've got two different models for our chemical equation to represent photosynthesis. So in our first one, we've got energy in the form of the sunlight, so light energy, plus carbon dioxide here, and water. So this is our water, and this is carbon dioxide. Using this energy, carbon dioxide, and water, inside of our cell, inside the chloroplast, we are able to produce oxygen, and this is the chemical formula for sugar, which involves carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen all arranged together. Now the two different ways sugar is being represented in the models, we've got one right here which shows all the different types of atoms that make up our sugar, and then this one right here which shows the arrangements of these atoms. In this case, I believe the red ones are our oxygen, the black ones are the carbon, and the white ones are our hydrogen. And based on our models, how can we tell if photosynthesis uses energy or produces energy? We can see that it uses energy because energy is written like a reactant. We start with some energy and we need this energy, carbon dioxide and water, in order to produce oxygen and sugar. So we're using up the energy. And where does that energy come from? Like we said, it comes from light, in particular sunlight. Now cellular respiration is a little bit different. Cellular respiration occurs in both types of cells to turn sugar into energy that the cells can use. The organelles where our cellular respiration takes place are called the mitochondria. And cellular respiration is the process where we turn oxygen and sugar into carbon dioxide and water. Cellular respiration also produces energy, which is then used to make ATP, the molecule that carries the energy to other organelles in the cell. So this is our equation here. We start with oxygen and sugar, and then in our mitochondria, we are able to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy, which then eventually gets converted into ATP. But we can think of this just as getting energy out. Now, in order for this to happen, we need oxygen and sugar. Where do plant cells get the sugar they need to perform this cellular respiration? From photosynthesis. And where do animals get the sugar they need? From eating other plants or other animals. Now, if we look at the two equations for photosynthesis and cellular respiration, we notice that they are actually opposites of each other. The starting point for photosynthesis is the same as the ending point for cellular respiration. And then we've got the ending point for photosynthesis being the starting point for cellular respiration. So these are just opposites, two directions, the same reaction taking place. That means that photosynthesis and cellular respiration create a circular cycle. The products of one can be used for the other. And plants and animals rely on both processes in order to survive. Plants do both processes, but they do more photosynthesis than cellular respiration. So in general, that means they are producing more sugar and more oxygen than they are producing carbon dioxide and water. And then below, we've got another model that shows this. So this model right here shows our chloroplast taking in light energy along with carbon dioxide and water, and then producing oxygen and glucose. And glucose here just means sugar. So this top part, this is our chloroplast, and this represents our photosynthesis. The bottom right here is our mitochondria taking in oxygen and sugar, and then producing water, carbon dioxide, as well as some chemical energy, which eventually gets converted into ATP. So this lower half represents our cellular respiration, and you'll see that this forms a cycle, that it sort of just continues and goes round and round and round. So the process that takes in and uses energy is our photosynthesis. Notice the light energy comes in and gets used to create sugar and oxygen. Whereas cellular respiration produces energy by taking in sugar and oxygen and creating carbon dioxide and water. And the way that this model represents the energy is that the star right here and the little squiggly arrow going out of the cell when it produces energy or into the cell when it's absorbing energy. So here we consume energy. This process produces energy. Now the rest of the notes here, all these questions, I would encourage you to use them as practice. All the answers are in the filled-in version of the notes. I would also encourage you to take a look at some of the videos that I'm going to be posting, along with the other workbook problems and other homework for you to do. So make sure you check Teams, get all that stuff done, and I will see you all in the next video.